G'day guys, Sean from Navaspire Car Conversations. Today I want to talk to you about a really important topic, and that's fear. But before we get started, I just want to make a quick apology. I do have some pretty bad hay fever today, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of sniffing, so I apologise for that. Look, fear, I think really a lot of people live their lives through fear. You know, you can either aim for what it is you really want, or you can kind of pander to fear and just end up where you are. And I'm pretty sure that anybody listening to this video would know someone, maybe even someone really intimately, that has really got where you got, not so much because you planned it, but because you just kind of went with the flow and went with what's easy, and you feared really sticking your neck out, so you just kind of went with whatever was easy, you know. And as far as I'm concerned, that's living through fear. And for the majority of my life thus far, I lived through fear. You know, I didn't really plan to go anywhere. I just took the easy road, and whatever was simple and easy, I just went with that. And it wasn't until someone really held me accountable and said, hey, this is not what you want, this is not your dream, go and chase your bloody dream, that I actually started to do that. And what I found out was that nothing really changed. Nothing really changed except the feeling in me that I could do it. So I want to talk to you a little bit about fear, and I want to start off by asking you a really simple question. What would you do if you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that you couldn't fail? You had no question in your mind that you wouldn't fail, you would succeed. Flat out. What would you do? Have a think about it. Would you fly a helicopter? Would you jump out of a plane? Would you maybe quit the job you don't like, or leave that relationship you don't like? Would you go and do some public speaking, or maybe go singing or dancing? I don't know what it is, right? Would you go and start that business venture, or try that investment? What would you do if you knew for sure that you wouldn't fail? Because I guarantee you it's more than what you've done thus far. And the reason I can guarantee you that is because most people live through fear rather than empowering themselves to do what it is they want to do. So I want to ask you, if fear is so scary, if fear holds us back so much, why do we have it? See, I have a view that all emotions are valuable to us. They do something, negative and positive. They do something for us. There's a reason we have them. So if fear holds us back so much, and it holds back so many people, why do we have it? Well, I think the reason is because it prepares us. If you have a think about when you're really fearful, what it is you feel. Well, for a lot of people, the heart rate increases. Sometimes you tighten up. You know, the adrenaline pumps. Your senses get wider. You know, you get more deliberate in your speech and in your actions. So, what's interesting about that is, when you get really excited, you have those same symptoms. So when you really want to achieve something, and your adrenaline pumps, your heart rate increases, you know, all these same things happen, and it's the same symptoms. So, you know, I think being fearful is simply a matter of telling us to prepare. It tells us that something big's coming up and you better be ready. It's not telling us something's big coming up, oh stop. Unfortunately, that's the way most people interpret fear. I believe fear is a good thing. Fear says, you better be ready for this thing coming up. Prepare yourself, do whatever it is you got to do, get the information, and go. And that's what fear should do for us. But unfortunately, a lot of the time it doesn't. Unfortunately, a lot of the time what it does is it tells us, whoa, put on the brakes, there's a bit of an issue here. And I really don't believe that's the way we should treat fear. I want you to have a think about a common acronym we hear, which is false evidence appearing real, FEAR. Now, when you think about that, it's absolutely true. When you're fearful of something, what you do is you create an image of that in your mind, and unfortunately what we often do is the image we create is far worse than anything that's ever going to happen, because we create the worst possible scenario. And you think of something that you're very, very scared of, and you'll probably find that you create a very, very vivid image. When you've been excited, though, you can do the same thing. When you're excited about something and something's coming up, you create very vivid images in your head. And you get excited and that heart rate increases. So, I don't think false evidence appearing real is necessarily an accurate acronym, because we do the same thing. That, for negative or positive, all that is visualization. But there's something to learn out of that, and that is that you can visualize however you want. You can visualize positive or negative, and how you visualize is going to determine your results, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a second. I want you to have a think about some of your heroes in life. Either a hero in the generic term, like someone who rescues someone, like a fireman or someone like that, or your hero as in your mentor, your idol. And I want you to have a think about any interview you might have heard about that person. And most times you'll hear them say, well, I'm just me. I didn't do anything great. So, you know, the common saying we hear about heroes is that being a hero is not the absence of fear, but rather the presence of fear and acting anyway. Now, I don't necessarily believe that's true anymore. I used to, but what I believe to be true now is, yes, they still have fear, but there's a couple of things that overpower that fear, and that is purpose and faith. Because I believe if your purpose and faith is stronger than your fear, then you'll act anyway. And that's why, you know, you talk to these heroes that save their own lives, for example, and they go, but I just had to survive. Because their purpose was so strong that it didn't matter how scared they were. They did it anyway. And someone who's got a divine purpose, let's say like a fireman, who goes in and runs into a burning building, he has a purpose that's so strong in him that he must continue forth. And people who take risks in business, they have so much experience and so much faith that it's going to work out, that they go forth anyway. So I believe there's actually a formula you can use to define what is a hero and what is an idol, and that is it's purpose plus faith divided by fear. And the reason I use that formula is because I don't want you to pretend that your fear doesn't exist, and I also don't want you to pretend that your fear doesn't have an impact on you. It does. But what I want you to understand is that you have to make sure that your purpose, your reason why you're doing what you're doing, and your faith that you can achieve it needs to be stronger than your fear. And if it is, you will act. It's as simple as that. So I want you to have a bit of a think about someone who inspires you, someone who motivates you to do better. As a common example, maybe have a think about, say, a personal trainer. And what a personal trainer does is they stir up some emotions within you so that what you think you couldn't achieve 10 minutes ago, now all of a sudden you can. The reality is nothing's changed. As I said before, it's false evidence appearing real. All they've done is they've stirred up some belief, some faith in you that you can push that extra repetition, or that you can push that little bit harder. And a mentor of any kind is no different, really. They're going to push you to believe that you can achieve something that you thought you couldn't. And what happens, as I said before, is when you believe that you can do something, you'll do the actions that are actually going to get you there. So I guess the key point I'm trying to make is that you have to change in your head what's possible. There's no real basis for your fear or for your fear or for your faith. Both of those things are false, and in fact it takes the same amount of energy and the same type of energy to create a false negative image, i.e. fear, as it does to create a false positive image, i.e. faith. So, you know, if you're going to create these false images in your head, which everybody does, why not make them empowering? Why not make those images so vividly real and so empowering and so motivating within yourself that it drives you to action? Why wait? Why have to have someone who's going to help you through that? You know, you can push that in your own mind. Now, I guess raising that question of why would you do that? Well, the flip side of that is it's hard. It is really hard, and I guess that's really what this is about, to tell you to look at things differently. And also, I guess that's really what the Navaspire business is about, is helping you to do that, giving you some tools that you can use to turn your fear around. So when you're looking at a goal, or even when you're not looking, I guess, really don't let your fear control you. Look at what it is you really want, create a goal out of that, and don't let fear hold you back. Create a positive self-image, create an image within yourself of actually seeing you having that goal in your mind. Picture the best possible scenario with yourself in the scenario, and make it vivid and real so you can feel feelings, smell things, colours, everything. If you have a real vision of you achieving a particular goal and it's real in your gut, you will achieve it. It's as simple as that. You will have no fear because your faith and your purpose overrides your fear. So make that your goal. put your purpose and your faith so high that your fear doesn't matter anymore. And if you can do that, you're going to be able to succeed and achieve whatever it is that you truly desire. Of course, I'm there to help you out, so come and drop us a line, www.improvedaily.com.au, and I can help you to set those goals. I can help you to understand your fear and work through that, and we can really get you to the next level that you didn't even realize was possible. You know, once you stretch that little extra bit, you'll be surprised that you can stretch a bit more and a bit more and a bit more, and what you can achieve is far more than you ever dreamed is possible if you can just control that fear, and I can help you to do that. So drop me a line, and between now and then, I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks very much. Bye.